I'm Andrew for thecritics.tv, and this week we're going to be talking about Hostel Part II, or as I like to call it, Fun in Europe. One quick disclaimer before I start talking about this movie: I did bring my own special drinks to this movie, so if character names are a little bit fuzzy, then I apologize for that in advance. I'm going to also say in advance that I never saw Hostel Part I. No particular reason, rented it a bunch of times, just never actually got to sit down and watch it. So one of the things that drew me to this movie, aside from wanting to know what everyone was talking about, was Eli Roth's fake hysterical trailer for Thanksgiving during Grindhouse. And if you didn't see that movie, then shame on you, because that was a really good movie. At any rate, Hostel Part II was awesome. I don't know what this says about me, or if you think I'm sick for saying this, but it definitely made me want to go take a trip to Europe. I left that theater wanting to go backpacking through the continent. Maybe it was all the whiskey, I don't know. Or it could have been the excellent cinematography. So many of the shots looked like picturesque postcards. Another reason I went to see this movie was the fact that I love any movie that has a group of bitchy girls being chased down and hunted by a psycho or a group of psychos. It's the reason I love slasher movies. So if you like this kind of movie, then definitely go see Hostel Part II. The plot of this movie is very simple and very straightforward. It's basically about 3 American girls and 1 Italian girl who originally go on a weekend trip to Prague, but end up taking a detour and going on a spa vacation to Slovakia instead. I spent the entire movie going, you should have gone to Prague. Beth, Whitney, Lorna, and the random foreign girl, or as I spent 3/4 of the movie calling them, rich girl, blonde bitch, DJ's girlfriend from Roseanne, and random foreign girl, think that they're going to get a nice relaxing weekend, and then, well, they don't end up so much relaxing. What I thought it was really interesting about this movie was it actually followed 2 different stories at the same time. We had the 4 girls going on their trip, and then we had 2 guys who were becoming new inductees to the torture club that the hostel is a front for. I thought this was an interesting twist because it kind of got you wrapped up in the story of the girls, but then you also started to sympathize a little bit with the killers. So I definitely think that added a different layer to the movie. Incidentally enough, the 2 guys who play the killers were both no good husbands on the same season of Desperate Housewives. I don't know what this says about the casting, but it definitely seemed like they got some kind of bargain basement deal. And this definitely added to my confusion over character names because I spent half the movie going, rich girl, look out, it's Bree's psycho boyfriend. At any rate, I know I love a movie if I do that, if I yell out loud during the movie, which I did many times during this film. One of the other things I definitely loved about it was the fact that it took horror conventions, but made you forget that you kind of knew they were conventions. You got so wrapped up in the story, you forgot you kind of knew what was going to happen. And I thought that was really cool. So many movies these days get so caught up in trying to reinvent the wheel and throw complicated plot twists in, and they forget that you really just have to tell a pretty simple story. There was a lot of bloodshed in this movie, however it doesn't really happen until the second half of the movie, so sit tight. But since the movie's only an hour and a half, it's not like you have to wait that long as it is. I thought that this was a cool movie with great gore, solid acting, and really good cinematography. I think it's a movie that you would definitely enjoy seeing in a crowd. I would just avoid the I'm bringing my baby to the 10 o'clock showing crowd, or the I don't know how to turn off my cell phone during the movie crowd, but I definitely think this is a movie that you should rush out and go see in the theaters. I would highly recommend Hostel 2.
Hostel Teil 2.
Please, sag mir